So I started adding elements to the painting that are inspired by four-dimensional space. Just looking at shapes that are transitioning from like a square or a rectangle, and then doubling that and connecting the points between that to transition from two-dimensional space to three-dimensional space, and then taking that cube that's created and multiplying that and connecting the points of those elements to create a four-dimensional tesseract. So this is like an animation of a tesseract, and I find it inspiring. I think it's related to consciousness, and that it continuously flows into itself, and it's a little bit like a Mobius strip or a Klein bottle or something. It's like the inside becomes the outside and the outside becomes the inside. Like as this opens up, that becomes the exterior, and then it shrinks down and becomes the interior. It's also sort of like a torus shape. And I suppose, like this is basically, a tesseract is like a four-dimensional form. And I find it inspiring because it's connected to consciousness, or it seems to me like a similar representation. But also, like, the tesseract or four-dimensional space, I think, is interesting for several reasons. I like the idea of contemplating four-dimensional space while working on a two-dimensional surface. And right now I'm playing with that in this painting. And it's just an intriguing question. Like, how do I represent four dimensions in a two-dimensional space? So that's part of it, but also just when you think about like how you transition from one dimension to the next, it's just a type of compounding. So I'm thinking about like taking the entirety of something and then extending it and compounding it. So I suppose I could show you more specifically what I mean by that. I'll show you like the building of different dimensions, starting from like first dimension to second dimension, third and fourth. And it's pretty straightforward. Might seem obvious at first, but I like the idea of the simplicity of how it compounds. And then once you get to the fourth dimension, I like thinking about that for that potential for painting. So you could start with like a simple line segment, really a point initially, and then you make a second point and just connect those, and so then you get a one-dimensional form, and then of course you could multiply that and just copy that over to the side and then connect those points, and then you have a two-dimensional form. And then, of course, you can take that, do the same thing again.
Yeah.
And then once you do a form like that, you've got a three-dimensional shape when you connect those. Which this is all pretty familiar, I would say, for most people. But then you can also take that and multiply that over to this form.
Sure. Coffee Dave.
And then you can connect those, and once you connect those, you have a four-dimensional space that's like a tesseract.